So isolating and lonely. I'm locking myself in the bathroom away from the firefighters. Like, this is horrific. I have no memory of her being born. Hello everyone. If you are new here, I'm Yasmin. I'm a 32-year-old mum, and today we're going to be chatting about HG. Welcome, and this is Mama Millie Life. Hello everyone, welcome back to Mama Millie Life. Today I'm going to just have a chatty video today. I thought I could chat about my pregnancy and birth, see who has been through the same things or other people's birth stories. Basically, the reason for this is because when I was pregnant I had Hyperemesis Gravidarum, I think that's how you say it, HG, and then I also went through a lot of other stuff when I gave birth. When I posted about Hyperemesis Gravidarum on my Instagram and TikTok, I got so many likes and comments, more so on TikTok. Every day I'm getting someone commenting saying, I'm going through this, I've been through this, and their experiences and stuff with it. It's very, very popular, like people not being understood with it. So I just thought, let's bring it to YouTube, let's have a little chat about it, maybe a little bit more, and then maybe lead to like my birth as well. So I just want to say a big thank you if you watched my first video, because this is my second video now, and I can't believe I got a YouTube video up. I posted a video, I downloaded it, I edited it, I filmed it, and it went live onto YouTube. So I'm actually really proud. That's a really proud moment for me. You have to start somewhere, and if you don't start, you're not going to learn. Also, I got a microphone. I actually got one because when I was filming my first video, when I was like moving away from the camera, or I'm cleaning, or I'm a bit away, it's very hard to hear. And you can obviously enhance the volume and make the volume better, but having a microphone, you can just hear everything. So I'm hoping this will sound okay today. So please, again, bear with me with this because this is new as well. But first, I'm just going to quickly tidy around. Nothing crazy. Quickly just tidy the bedrooms quickly and maybe mop the hallway. And then I'm going to make myself a cup of tea and I'm going to sit down and we'll have a little chat. That is my plan today. So let's go. So I'm not doing a deep clean or a big clean today in the bedrooms or anything. But one job that has been a bit neglected is dusting this house. So I'm just going to pull it out and dust it.
就是这样 Chill out, relax 享受这美好的时光让烦恼都飞走 Chill out, relax
So I have my cup of tea, so let's chat. I'll put this here for a minute. Now, if you hear a timer, that's because I set a timer to remind me to drink my tea. I'm going to be chatting about Hyperemesis Gravidarum, and then I will lead on to my birth. I won't go like too deep, but we'll have a bit more of a chat. So let's jump in. I found out I was pregnant around 3 weeks in. So I started with sickness immediately. Now, it got worse over the weeks. As the weeks went by, it got worse and worse. Hyperemesis gravidarum is extreme sickness and it causes weight loss, dehydration. So you normally get admitted to hospital to be on like IV fluids and you're monitored quite high. Once the sickness started, so I went to the doctors. I was given a medication after medication after medication. But if I'm really honest, the doctors were not that supportive. It was not long after COVID, because this was like 4 years ago. My little girl's 3.5 now. So it was over 4 years ago that I was going through it. And there wasn't really seeing people. There were more chatting on the phone. So I'd ring, they'd give me another medication to try. Some of the medication I was just so reluctant to try. But anyway, all of it was irrelevant. I literally didn't keep any, I was sick. I mean, a good day, maybe 10 times. And when I say 10 times, I mean each time of them was like 5 times being sick within that one time. It was just constant all day. if you stood up, you were sick. And there's a massive difference. So I've been around people that have sickness, morning sickness, and I've been working with them, and they need a few minutes and they need to go to the toilet and need to be sick. You wouldn't even be able to get into work. Luckily, I stayed with my mum and I didn't work at that time. Now, there is no way I could have gone to work. So there was a massive lack of support from the doctors, and basically just take these tablets. But like I say, I was sick so many times a day, the tablets would just come out. There were nothing eased it or worked. I was sick straight away anyway. Most of my days basically were spent laying down. Like I say, you couldn't go to work. You couldn't do anything. There's no social life. There was no nothing. I didn't even go in the kitchen for months. I laid in my bed, or I would lay on the floor in the bathroom. Sometimes change it up with the hallway, but I would just lay and just wait to be sick constantly. So isolating and lonely. It's such a hard time. I don't think there's enough support. But again, someone on TikTok was saying there is a charity or a website that helps you and gives you information of how families can help as well. Because you do feel hopeless as family as well. You don't know how to support that person. You just don't do anything. You lose everything, your ability to do anything. I remember once I had to go into the doctors, and I had to do it in stages, right? Get dressed, lay down, like, because you didn't have the strength. You didn't eat. Like I would sometimes, if I could find something, I would have a nibble of food, and that meant I could shower or brush my teeth. Now, if I had to go out like the doctors, so I took all my strength, I did it in stages, slowly get ready, get anything I needed, and I would just carry my sick ball and I would wait to go. Someone would drive me. There was no way I could drive. Someone drove me. It was the hardest thing just to get into the doctor, sit down. I was just crying. I was like, I can't do this. And it makes you feel very low. So anyway, I got to the doctors, and again, it didn't even help me. Nothing. Now, eventually, I did go onto an IV drip, but this was right near the end. So I went for a scan. I can't remember what stages you go for a scan. She was like, how many times have you been sick? And I was telling her. And so, yeah, she sent me upstairs to the hospital part, and I got on a drip. And I was only in that day because at this point, I will say, around 4 months, I was getting a lot better. I was getting a lot better by then. I was out. I could get out. But yeah, it was a very, very hard time. The amount of weight, I'll have to pop a picture on this, the amount of weight and how skinny. I will say as well, when I saw the midwife, the first time I wasn't that extreme when I first started seeing her. And it's like, you feel sick? She just said to me, like, you feel sick, try ginger biscuits and Lucozade. Now, Lucosade's a good thing with the electrolytes, but ginger biscuits, if I hear the word ginger biscuits, it's like a trigger as well, ginger biscuits. And I feel like everyone on my comments was the same with this. Ginger biscuits, it's way past ginger biscuits, like way past ginger biscuits. And I don't think there is enough awareness. It is just put aside as morning sickness. Get on with it. And there's no getting on with it. There is no getting on with that. You can't explain it until you've been through it, but it's so difficult. So difficult. It's not like it's just a small part of the day. It is 24/7. 24/7. If you can get to sleep and you slightly wake up, I'm going to be sick. Like, you're lucky. The sleep was terrible as well. So moving on, the middle part of the pregnancy was probably okay. And now the end. So I started swelling up. Now, when I went to the doctor, I just say, oh, I'm swelling up. Like, I know it can be like pre-eclampsia. I wasn't that interested. So the night before Millie was born, I had a really bad headache. Now, I will say, people, like, please be aware, like a headache, but it was like pressure all around my head. So I couldn't really sleep that night, and I was supposed to be at work, so I just messaged saying, oh, I won't be in. Maybe I can come in later. Anyway, that morning, my partner stayed home a little longer because Liverpool Football Club was playing on the TV. Now, because we lived in Canada, I will add that, I was in Canada when I gave birth. Liverpool played like 5 a.m, and he thought, I'll stay home and watch it today. And then he got up and had a shower. So I managed to go back to sleep a little bit. I remember him watching football in bed for a little bit. I remember texting work, and now that is my last memory. Now, I have no memory of her being born. I have no memory of what happened. Everything I'm telling you now is what I've been told and from doctor's notes. So I managed to get back to sleep. My partner was in the shower. Now, he thought I was snoring really, really loud. Anyway, he came out, And I wasn't making any sense. And he was like, you need to be serious. You need to talk to me and be normal. Otherwise, I have to ring an ambulance. Now, in Canada, it's $500 if you call an ambulance. So obviously you don't do it lightly. He was really worried. Now, we didn't have family out there. We did have his brother. Now, we lived in an apartment building in Canada, and below us, we had like an Italian. It was a shop, but with like a cafe inside. And all the time, the fire engines were parked outside because they would go for lunch down there. Anyway, they were there at that time. So they sent them straight up. I'm running around, they're chasing me. Obviously, I have no memory of this. I'm running around, I'm out of control a little bit. I'm locking myself in the bathroom away from the firefighters. And then eventually the ambulance come. The firefighters don't know what's going on. The ambulance come, I start having a seizure. I have another seizure in front of them. And then obviously they know. So immediately they put me on magnesium, a magnesium drip straight on in, put me on a bed, took me straight to hospital. So when we was in hospital, I was rushed into everything. I had scans, ultrasounds. I had to check everything, make sure me and baby was okay. So I will add, it was around 37 weeks this happened, but she stopped growing at 32 weeks. Now, because they put magnesium in me, their seizures stopped straight away. I was one seizure away from biting my tongue off. I don't know how many I had, I'm not sure, because he was in the shower, so we don't know how many happened in that time. My tongue, if I can find a picture, I don't know if it's just bruised. It probably don't look as bad in the picture actually. It's all bruised at the front, but my tongue, I would say out of everything that happened, my tongue was the most painful thing. It is just like, anything would irritate, anything I ate. And I was rushed for a C-section. So this is a different story. I might get into this a different time. But basically, we have hospital bills that we have to pay. But there was a specialist that came, and he had to be paid immediately in the hospital. So my partner had to pay for that. It was like all going on. It's a bit overwhelming. He had to get dressed, go for the it was an emergency C-section. Now in the C-section, I wouldn't stay still. So I didn't know what was happening, obviously. I kept trying to touch my belly. So they had to hold my arms or pin my arms down. Now eventually, I do remember the bed in the room. And then I remember Millie just in the little clear bassinets next to you. I couldn't look after her. I didn't even know what was going on. So basically, because of all that as well, I had to learn how to function again, learn how to walk, go to the toilet, brush my teeth. I didn't walk for days. I didn't get up. I didn't brush my teeth. I didn't do anything. Like I was just in bed. I didn't know. I had no memory. I didn't know I had to get up. Do you know what I mean? It was like I didn't know I had to do that. Like the nurses would get mad. They'd be like, I told you need to get up today. I don't remember. I didn't even know what was going on. So it was days of that, and I was messaging people. I don't even remember doing it. I remember looking back like, oh, I vaguely remember that. Finally got to go home. Now I had to see specialists, so I can't remember all of them. One of them was a neurologist because of my head and my seizures. But basically, so I had to have a follow up after, if I don't know how much longer after, maybe like a month after I gave birth. Now, the woman was absolutely lovely. And she was like, I've never been involved in a pregnancy and seizures, like that sort of situation. And Millie was actually born on her daughter's birthday, and she was just such a lovely lady. And anyway, I went to see her later on, and she said, there's no bleed. It was just water all in your brain. So when I was in hospital, there was bags, like the wee bags. You had the bags, and it was just filling up with water and liquid coming out of me, bag after bag. And I was just like deflating as such. I was so puffy. I don't think I want to insert that picture because I was like, for me, compared to what I am now, I do look a little bit different. So yeah, we got out of hospital. I had to follow up with neurologists and other specialists like that were involved in it all. And I did get the all clear eventually. I was fine. Obviously, after all that, I don't think, I never really at the time processed it all. I sometimes actually see it as a positive and a blessing. Now, I know everyone's scared of giving birth. I was so scared, like I didn't know what was going to happen. So I was so scared, but I think in a way, like not to remember the C-section and that and the needle, there is no way. I remember when I got my ears pierced, so they did one and I wouldn't let them do the second one. I remember they had to pin my head, like I was terrible. I'm terrible with anything. I would never have tattoos. I would never get another piercing. I don't do pain. So if you said to me, you're going to have this needle, I think I would have ran out. I would have been such a mess, an anxious mess, and crazy person, that I just see it as a blessing, really, that I have no memory of that situation because it's done and we're healthy. But then you have to learn to become a mum. And like I say, it was quite a blur for me anyway. The best thing you will ever do is being a mum. I went through it all and it was a crazy time, but learning to be a mum, it was all new. And then Millie was never a good sleeper. She had colic. She would wake every minute. Like, I had next to me in her cot section every minute. I'd get her off, turn, wake up, settle, settle, settle. It wasn't even like some nights it was every minute, some nights it was every half an hour. It was just relentless with the sleep. But regardless of all that, being a mom is the best thing ever. And basically, I just wanted to share today my pregnancy and birth. And I just want to know if anyone else went through like the hyperemesis gravidarum, pre-eclampsia. So I had eclampsia because there was no pre. I had started having the seizures. So mine was eclampsia. But if anyone has any links between them, had both or had one, what their experiences was, C-section, if you was involved in any of that. There's so much and it's such a scary time. But I would do that again, obviously, to have her. She's the best thing in the entire world. Would I do it again? I'm a high-risk pregnancy now. I wouldn't do it again, but I'm an only child and I love being an only child. So, and I've got Millie now. So for me, I was never a dream to have like 2, 3, 4, 5 kids anyway. So I am happy with one. Yeah, if anyone has any experiences, if it's put anyone off, like having the sickness and things, put anyone off having another child, are they scared, are you worried? I just wondered how people felt about this. If anyone's got any advice as well for other people, because if I'm being honest, I don't have any advice. You can't eat, you can't do anything. I've got no suggestions. Maybe push, 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 or get someone close to you to push, 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 like with doctors. No, we need something. But if you've got this far, thank you so much for watching. I really, really appreciate it. And this will be my second YouTube video. Please like, please subscribe to Mama Millie Life. If you enjoyed it, please comment. And thank you so much.